Have you ever wondered about the impact of the caste reservation system on India's society and economy? Join us as we take a closer look at the pros and cons of this controversial policy. India is a land of diversity, with a rich cultural heritage that dates back thousands of years. But there is one aspect of Indian society that has endured for just as long, and it is the caste system. The caste system is an ancient social hierarchy that divides people into different castes based on their birth and occupation. Historically, those at the top of the caste system had more access to education, jobs, and political power, while those at the bottom faced discrimination and limited opportunities. To address this issue, in 1950, the Indian government introduced the caste reservation system, which reserves a certain percentage of government jobs, seats in educational institutions, and political positions for people belonging to the lower castes. While the caste reservation system has had a positive impact on many people belonging to the lower castes, there are those who argue that it is discriminatory and needs to be abolished. The caste reservation system has been a topic of debate in India for many years, with strong opinions on both sides. In this video, we will explore the history, impact, and ongoing debate surrounding the caste reservation system in India. We'll examine both sides of the argument and look at the potential future of this controversial policy. Join us as we delve into this complex and important issue. The caste reservation system in India has its roots in the country's complex social hierarchy, which dates back thousands of years. The caste system is a hierarchical social structure that divides people into different castes based on their birth, with each caste having its own traditions, occupations, and customs. Historically, the caste system was extremely rigid, and people born into the lower castes faced significant discrimination and limited opportunities for social and economic mobility. The upper castes held a monopoly on political power, education, and wealth, while those at the bottom of the hierarchy were forced to perform menial jobs and were denied access to basic human rights. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar played a pivotal role in the creation and implementation of the caste reservation system in India. As an influential social reformer, Ambedkar recognized the need for affirmative action policies to address the historic oppression and discrimination faced by Dalits and other marginalized communities. In 1932, Ambedkar led the Dalit community in a landmark protest against the Hindu caste system, which resulted in the famous Pune Pact. This agreement provided for a system of separate electorates for Dalits and other marginalized communities, ensuring that they would have a voice in the political process. Ambedkar continued to advocate for affirmative action policies, including the reservation of seats in educational institutions and government jobs for Dalits and other marginalized communities. His efforts were instrumental in the inclusion of reservation policies in the Indian constitution, which was adopted in 1950. Ambedkar's role in the creation of the caste reservation system was significant, not just because of his advocacy for social justice, but also because of his understanding of the practical realities of the Indian social and political landscape. He recognized that reservation policies were necessary to level the playing field for disadvantaged communities, and to give them a fair chance to succeed in a society that was stacked against them. To address this inequality, the Indian government introduced the caste reservation system in 1950, which reserved a certain percentage of government jobs, seats in educational institutions, and political positions for people belonging to the lower castes. The reservation system was initially intended to be temporary, but it has been extended multiple times over the years and has become a permanent feature of Indian society. The caste reservation system has been a contentious issue in Indian politics, with strong opinions on both sides. Supporters of the reservation system argue that it is necessary to address the historic injustice faced by people from lower castes and to promote social justice and equality. They point out that the reservation system has helped many people from lower castes to access education, employment, and political power and has contributed to the empowerment of historically marginalized communities. On the other hand, opponents of the reservation system argue that it is discriminatory and undermines the principles of meritocracy and equal opportunity. They claim that the reservation system has created a sense of entitlement among people from lower castes and has resulted in a backlash from those who feel they are being unfairly excluded from jobs and educational opportunities. Despite the ongoing debate surrounding the caste reservation system, it remains a critical policy in India, and its future remains uncertain. The Indian government has attempted to reform the system over the years, but any change to the reservation policy remains a contentious issue, with no clear consensus in sight. The caste reservation system in India has undergone significant changes since it was first introduced in 1950. The original reservation policy reserved 22.5% of government jobs and seats in educational institutions for people from the scheduled castes, SCs, and scheduled tribes, STs, which are the lowest castes in the Indian social hierarchy. Over time, the reservation policy has been extended to include other marginalized groups, such as other backward classes, OBCs, who are considered to be socially and educationally disadvantaged. The evolution of the caste reservation system in India can be divided into three distinct phases. First phase, 1950 to 1979, the initial years of the caste reservation system were marked by the allocation of quotas for SCs and STs. The government set aside a fixed percentage of seats in educational institutions and government jobs for these communities. This phase was marked by resistance from upper caste groups, who viewed the reservation system as discriminatory. Second phase, 1980 to 1990, in the 1980s, the Indian government extended the reservation policy to include OBCs. This move was met with significant opposition from upper caste groups, who argued that the extension of reservations would undermine meritocracy and create a sense of entitlement among marginalized communities. Third phase, 1990 present, the third phase of the caste reservation system in India, which began in the 1990s and continues to the present day, has been marked by efforts to reform and extend the reservation policy. One of the most significant developments during this phase was the introduction of the creamy layer exclusion policy in 1993. The creamy layer refers to the relatively well-off members of the reserved categories who have already benefited from the reservation policy. The creamy layer exclusion policy aimed to exclude the wealthiest members of the reserved categories from accessing the benefits of reservation and make them available to the truly deserving members of the community. Another significant development during this phase has been the extension of the reservation policy to new categories. For example, in 2018, the Indian government introduced a constitutional amendment that provided 10% reservation in educational institutions and government jobs for economically disadvantaged upper caste groups who were not previously covered by reservation. This move was widely criticized by some groups who argued that it undermined the principles of affirmative action and created a new category of reservation based on economic criteria rather than social disadvantage. The third phase of the caste reservation system has also been marked by various challenges and controversies. One of the major challenges has been the issue of reservation in promotion, which refers to the reservation of positions in higher grades for people from reserved categories. This policy has faced significant legal challenges from upper caste groups, who argue that it is unconstitutional and undermines meritocracy. The third phase of the caste reservation system in India is ongoing, and its future remains uncertain. The government has attempted to address the challenges and controversies surrounding the reservation policy through various reforms, but there is still no clear consensus on how to move forward. The caste reservation system remains a critical policy in India, and its evolution reflects the ongoing struggle to address the historic injustice faced by marginalized communities and to promote greater social justice and equality in the country. The caste system in India is no longer justifiable because it is a social hierarchy that discriminates against individuals based on their birth and not their individual abilities or merits. The caste system divides society into different hierarchical groups, with those at the top enjoying privileges and opportunities denied to those at the bottom. The caste system is a deeply ingrained social institution in India, and it has led to significant disparities in social and economic outcomes. Members of lower castes often face discrimination and marginalization in various aspects of life, including education, employment, and social interactions. As a result, they are unable to access the same opportunities as those at the top of the social hierarchy. The Indian Constitution guarantees equal rights and opportunities to all citizens, regardless of their caste or social background. However, the reality is that caste-based discrimination still exists in many parts of India, despite the efforts made by the government to address it. Moreover, the caste system perpetuates a narrow-minded and prejudiced view of society, which promotes social inequality and reinforces the notion that people are defined by their caste and not their individual talents or abilities. It also creates an atmosphere of division and hostility, with people from different castes viewing each other with suspicion and distrust. In conclusion, the caste system is no longer justifiable because it violates the principles of equality, justice, and fairness. It is an outdated social institution that has no place in modern society, and its existence undermines India's democratic values and aspirations. Therefore, it is essential that we work towards eradicating the caste system and creating a more inclusive, just, and equitable society for all. There has been a growing debate in India about whether the caste reservation system is the most effective way to promote social justice and equal opportunities for all. While the reservation policy has played a crucial role in addressing historical injustices and promoting social mobility for marginalized communities, some argue that it is not the best long-term solution. One alternative to the caste reservation system is the implementation of policies that focus on universal access to education, healthcare, and other basic services. By providing equal opportunities to all individuals regardless of their caste or social background, such policies can create a more level playing field for everyone and ensure that no one is left behind. Another approach is to implement targeted affirmative action policies that are based on economic criteria rather than social background. This would mean providing preferential treatment to individuals from economically disadvantaged backgrounds, regardless of their caste or religion. There is also a growing movement advocating for a shift towards a needs-based approach to affirmative action, rather than one based on social identity. This would mean identifying those individuals and communities that face the greatest disadvantage and providing them with targeted support and assistance to address their specific needs. Ultimately, the best replacement for the caste reservation system will require a combination of different policies and approaches, tailored to the specific needs and challenges faced by different communities in India. It will require a commitment to social justice, equality, and inclusion, and a willingness to engage in an open and honest dialogue about how best to achieve these goals. By working together and embracing a more holistic and inclusive vision of society, we can create a future where everyone has an equal chance to succeed and thrive, regardless of their caste or social background. In conclusion, the caste reservation system in India has a long and complex history, and remains a contentious issue to this day. While the policy has played an important role in addressing historic injustices and promoting social mobility for marginalized communities, there are also valid concerns about its effectiveness and fairness. However, it is clear that any replacement for the caste reservation system must prioritize social justice, equality, and inclusion, and be tailored to the specific needs and challenges faced by different communities in India. By working together and embracing a more holistic and inclusive vision of society, we can create a future where everyone has an equal chance to succeed and thrive, regardless of their caste or social background. Thank you for watching our video on the caste reservation system in India. If you have any thoughts or opinions on this topic, please let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.